that one down and get into the new live. Oh, wait.
Hey, welcome. Welcome to our Wednesday live stream.
Welcome to part 2 of our Wednesday night live stream. You weren't expecting a part 2, were you?
Great to be here this evening. There's a little technical difficulties with the webcam.
The great part of it is, though, I get to tell you everything all over again. No, I am going to tell you about this prize package, though, because I want to get that started.
Well, let's give it, we're going to give 60 seconds.
Yeah.
People will maybe jump back on.
Okay. So first off, I need to know, is Beran's brand in the right track group yet?
Probably not. Probably getting up to speed.
I don't see him.
Well, if you're new.
Oh wait, there he is. All right.
If you're new,
so make sure you put in there it's a new chat group.
Already talked about a little barn owl action.
We had a lot of barn owl action going on.
We had some poop.
We had some poop.
I titled this Take Two.
Take two.
Take
we
two.
Always have poop.
Talked about muskrats and rats.
Talked about the difference between muskrats and rats. Both of them are rodents, but they're not the same.
More importantly, we didn't get into our prize box.
Let's talk about the prize box.
I'm excited to talk about the prize box.
All right. So every live, we've been giving away a prize box. And we've had some great winners. You know, I'm unaware if our last winner got her prize box.
You sent it off? What do you
like
mean?
she was only in Columbia. Like they said that she'd get it the next day.
I also give Nicole.
Yeah, Nicole, she got her prize box. She came and picked it up in person from Atlanta, Georgia. She flew all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to Imperial, Missouri to pick up her prize box. Now, that's dedication.
It is.
That's serious dedication. You know? And I can't remember who won the first prize box. I guess I should write this stuff down. Nicole won the first one?
Yep. No.
This is only the third live we've done.
Won the second one?
Not Wilson, no. Do you remember who won the second one?
Like
I wrote her name down, but now I can't remember.
Oh, her name was
Just a moment.
Oh, this kills me.
Yeah.
She's even purchased merch from us.
She has too. I remember that. And she lives in Columbia, Missouri.
You guys are really great to us.
Exactly.
Really great to us. We're not worthy.
So for tonight, we're about to have a contest. We're about to start a contest. And you're going to get this prize box. And in it, you're going to get a Wildlife Command Center mug like this one.
Like the one I'm drinking out of.
But without Michael DNA on it. It will actually come in this. This is the very last one that I have.
If you send us a $5 super chat in addition to winning the prize box.
No, they don't have to.
No,
you don't have to. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I'm not going to lick it. I don't want you to have my DNA. But you will get an incredible bag of our dark roast coffee, which is amazing.
Yeah,
and put it on too.
That's a little Michaels everywhere.
You will get a Wildlife Command Center challenge coin that was designed after my submarines challenge coin, the USS MG Vallejo. And you're going to get a multi-tool that comes with a corkscrew, a Phillips screwdriver, a can opener, a bottle opener, and a very sharp knife blade. So you get all that. You will get a Wildlife Command Center sticker. By the way, these are outdoor worthy stickers. And then you're going to get this cool little Wildlife Command Center napkin. That's just like, you know, it's really cool.
I want to give a big thank you to everyone for finding the link again. We have almost the same amount of people back in here. That's big. I really appreciate
that is big because usually if that would happen, you would lose half the audience.
No, I really appreciate you guys.
That shows how determined you guys are. All right, so here's what's going to go on. All right, so Bare Hands Beran in the chat and Wildlife Command Center in the chat. They're going to be keeping up with this. Okay, I am going. Don't do anything yet. I'm going to write a number on here between 1 and 200.
1 and 200, eh?
Yeah. How many people would we have? What's the max people we had in here? 25. 30?
I think we'll probably have like 35.
Okay.
Like
between 1 and 100 then. Between 1 and 100.
I like 1 and 200. Keeps it lively. And
Oh,
then
let's
we can
do-
give
let's-
little guesses.
All right, 1 and 200. Between 1 and 200. Okay. I'm gonna write a number on here, and I'm gonna let this young lady beside me here see what the number is.
Don't show it on camera.
I'm not going to.
You said 1 and 200. Oh, that's
Between 1 and 200.
that's a good number. That's a good number right there.
So
Don't
I
you
am
know?
going to fold it over like this,
Careful.
and I am going to put it inside this envelope.
I don't even know what it is.
I guess I should show
Yeah,
you.
I'm the one. Okay. All right.
All right. So I just do that so y'all know there's no hanky panky. Because you know, when Nicole won, I was like, how did she get that? You know? All right, so there's the number. All right, you can officially make a guess on 3, 2, 1 now.
It's
All right?
happened.
Yeah.
They've already guessed it,
You
Michael.
can make a guess.
They've already
What?
guessed it.
How?
There's been multiple people. Give me the envelope. Where is it?
Right there.
So I want to look back at the chat here.
How did y'all know my lucky number was 7?
But it's 7.
How did y'all know? Did y'all
And
see how I was writing?
what-
Y'all saw how I was writing it.
What's crazy is 2 people. Here's this, and
I see 3 7s like within a few moments of each other.
Here, this had it in the chat first. So they are
Hear
the
this.
official winner.
Hey, I want to say that me and Hear This have been chatting it up a lot recently.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
though.
So hear this, just so you know, I'm the one that does most of the comments. Now, sometimes I put BHB at the end of the comment, but sometimes I got 200 comments and I don't have time to do that. But if you get a reply in the comment section, it's me. I'm the one that's actually doing it. That's amazing. All right, so hear this. Here's what we need you to do. Hear this. Type in the email address info@cancatchit.com. Gracie,
I got it.
put in the chat, put info@cancatchit.com. And what I need, hear this, is your name, all right, your mailing address, and your cell phone number. Because I'm going to put you in my cell phone as a contact so that we can text anytime you want to text me. How's that?
This is for Hear This.
That's what I said.
I
Hear this.
want to make sure everyone else knew.
All right.
Yeah.
So their handle is Hear This. Not Hear This, but Hear
I mean,
This.
that's a weird name, but
I don't understand it, but I assume it means right now in the reality here. This is what I'm talking
oh,
about.
that's
Maybe
not the
it's-
real name.
Maybe it's like a judge, and he's like, "Here, this
That-
gavel, judge."
I don't know.
But congratulations,
name.
that was
All right, so-
unexpected.
That was very unexpected. Okay, so hear this. You will win a Wildlife Command Center dark roast coffee. You will win a sticker. You will win a coffee mug. And you will win a Wildlife Command Center multi-tool and one of these cool little napkins and a challenge coin. And I'm going to put all of this in the mail tomorrow. So if you send me that information, young lady that's watching the email will get the information to me and we'll get you all fixed up. Awesome.
So
That's amazing.
Listen, I know many of you have already smashed that like button, but I'm asking you to re-smash it. Since it's take 2, it's a new live. So hit the like button. Would really appreciate you guys doing that.
Yeah, you do need to.
Because this is actually how we get double the engagement. Is we just act
Oh.
like the webcam just cut out all of a sudden, right?
Ah.
Job, Mary.
By the way, part 2, I think is going to have the best part.
I think part 2 is going to be the best. We
I really-
honestly didn't even get into really anything that we were planning to do for the live.
Oh yeah, we really haven't done anything that we wanted to do for the live yet. Well, we kind of did.
It's
I needed to put
it's
the
called
equipment.
Meet the Animals, and we put anklets on the owl.
So now we're going to get into Meet the Animals.
All right, yeah.
Okay. So,
Great.
so what has happened is this trophy was given to me a number of years ago for being the world's best dad.
Oh wow!
Yay.
Yeah.
Wow, what'd you have to do to win that?
My adopted daughter, Lauren Rhodes, got this for me.
Oh,
Trophy.
That's precious.
Yes. How do you like this?
Wow, I don't.
And so Jenna has put a whole bunch of names in here of animals that we have.
all the animals.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but
Do we still have that rat? Do we
Aladdin?
still have Aladdin?
Uh-huh.
Let's put Aladdin in here and let Aladdin pick a name. What do you think? Aladdin pick the name? Aladdin the street rat pick the name?
you gonna put a rat in
You're
there?
a
That's
straight
gonna-
rat.
Put a
Aladdin.
rat in
You'll
there,
die.
and the first one he grabs with his mouth, I'm going to pull it out.
Okay. Here we go.
I think it's a great idea.
It's
A
awesome.
whole new world.
This is
Wait,
like
that's the Little Mermaid.
No, it's
No,
not.
that's-
That's Aladdin.
a whole new world. She just kind of sounded like the Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
I think that's
Thank
what it
you.
was.
That sounded like
Thanks,
Ariel
Jordan.
to me. That didn't sound like Jasmine singing.
My dog really wants to be involved right now.
Oh, is that the one you want? Huh?
Buddy boy.
Hey, well, I'll pull that one for you. All right, here we go. Aladdin pulled out Peaches, the red-tailed boa.
Oh,
Awesome.
great.
So I'm gonna ask Jenna to go get Peaches.
right.
Can you pick that up by yourself? But
I wish we could take the camera. in.
but since we're about to pull out a 9-foot red-tailed boa, I personally think we should not have a live rat available, nor should our hands smell like live rats.
Yeah.
So Aladdin, hey, could you? Oh, he pulled another one. No, you can't. No, put that back in. All right, Aladdin. Here.
Gravy's really starving for attention.
Aladdin, here, go get in your container. Aladdin did an amazing job, didn't he?
He did. He did great.
We'll bring him out to pick up
There
another.
we go.
another
My
one.
dog's just gnawing on me right now.
Hey, Gravy.
Go ahead,
Hey,
sit.
Gravy.
Sit.
So we've alluded to Harris Hawks. There is a great National Geographic program that you can watch on YouTube. If you just type in wolves of the air, it will lead you to several videos from National Geographic where they follow the antics of a family of Harris Hawks. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands because I smell like live rat. Why don't you introduce Peaches?
So this is Peaches.
Are you choking?
No, I just can't move my jaw.
Peaches.
I'm a ventriloquist.
Pete, let me know if you can't breathe, okay?
Okay.
Peaches is a red-tailed boa and recent surrender.
Yeah, she's got a mustache. Because she's mustachio question.
Yeah, I really like red-tailed boas because they got those little mustaches on top. I'm trying to be helpful, but at the same time, I'm being attacked by my dog.
So another thing about them is they have a short, stubby tail, just like this, unlike the long, thin, skinny ones. But they have it's so heavy. Oh,
Michael,
she's a good girl.
Michael, the snake's choking Jenna.
I got her. I got her. It's okay.
All right.
Go ahead and talk.
So anyway,
Come here, baby.
these guys are a South American species. They're not they're not very
Jenna looks like she's struggling right now, Michael.
they're not-
Okay, I'm fine. I will let you know.
so use the wrestling move. There you go. She knows how to get out of those MMA
She's
moves.
turning red.
So anyway, these guys are not very good climbers at all, and they're not super fond of the water. So most of the time they are ambush constrictors, and so they're very thick, they're very strong, and they'll wait wait for their prey to come by them, and then they'll ambush them, wrap them up with that really thick, strong body, and then swallow them. And it really is amazing to see how big of a prey item that this snake can eat. Being really strong.
Yes,
All right. So,
Very strong.
but this jaw and this little bitty neck right here can open up to a food item that's like this big around. So it's pretty amazing.
Aladdin would be an hors d'oeuvre for her.
Yeah, Aladdin wouldn't make anything.
Give me your back.
One of our volunteers, Jeremy, is doing some filming. He's being Cole for us this evening. So
Being Cole.
he's being Cole. Jeremy, come over here. Get on camera real quick. I saw the mic came in frame, and I was like, people are probably wondering what this.
Like, what is
furry
that?
microphone
Thinking it's
is.
a little mouse or something.
Yeah, but Jeremy's been recording, so we'll probably chop this up and make it into something usable for the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Perhaps.
think it'll be amazing.
Nice
I
start.
Yeah.
see she has some of the same type of salmon pattern.
She has a
that
lot of
Bruno
iridescence, like
Yeah,
that
she-
same look that
she's
Diana
really cool.
has.
Well, if you notice these little spatches of really light straw color, that helps her blend into the environment where she's at, which is like the edges of the forest, the grassland savannas of South America. And it's amazing how well they blend into. Now, interesting thing about Peaches is that Peaches is going to this year's St. Louis 2023 Shutterfest
Oh,
to be
wow.
one of the animal models that we're going to be taking to the city museum, and that's going to be in April. There's definitely going to be some cool video come out about that, but she makes a fabulous photography animal because she's just got these great patterns that have so many contrasts between the dark browns, the salmons, the light browns, and the light tan straw colors like that. Does anybody have any questions about red-tail boas? And so just so you know, when you buy that little bitty cute red-tail boa in the pet store, sort of like that doggy in the window.
I mentioned that on one of our last shorts. Most people don't read the descriptions of our shorts, but almost had to go to a take 3. Oh.
This time.
What I did say is if you're
Go put
looking to
Peaches
get
back
a
up.
snake, is make sure that it is a species
Yeah,
that
species.
is appropriate in size for your family.
exactly.
You
Like,
know, if you don't want a 19
that's
foot
a really
snake,
big snake.
you don't need to get a 19-foot snake.
Also, here's another thing. If you were to buy, so that snake really needs to be eating medium-sized rabbits. And those things are $12, $14 a piece. And so, you're looking at, pretty sizable chunk of money to keep that thing fed.
Yeah, which is also like another chord. Like we're obviously animal lovers, but some
Mhm.
people don't like reptiles for that reason. It's
Because they're carnivores.
yeah, they got to eat. It's like if you love reptiles and you want to keep them, well, they have to eat. So
They do have to eat.
I think we have a strange respect for the way of nature and loving each thing individually for the way they are.
Disconnected reality.
Why not? Why not? That sounds like my life.
In studio question on there. How many times do you feed Peaches?
So in the wintertime, she eats once a month, about every 30 days. But in the summertime, she'll eat a lot more than that.
Somebody asked, where do we get our animal feed? Like rabbits and stuff like that.
So number one place, so there are a couple of local St. Louis providers that provide professional, like retail grade frozen foods that we use. Our main food source is the Fenton feed mill, but for most of our rabbits, we use Rodent Pro. Not a sponsor, but maybe they should be. I say their name so much every time. But we use Rodent Pro because they have pretty reliable animals, and they're always frozen and packaged really well. They thaw out really well, and we've never ever had an issue with them. So we like them. All right. So let's pick another animal. Who wants to meet another animal?
I do.
All right.
Boy, ever. I got you covered, Michael. I'm going to speed this along before you bring out something else weird to pick out of the trophy. Hey, we're going to the opposite size spectrum. We're going to get Phoenix.
The Aztec corn snake.
Okay.
Hey, this is going to be really good.
I love it.
You can put it back in there.
Put it in there?
Yeah.
We already
If you
picked
pull
it.
it, if you pull it again.
I'm going to keep it out. I don't trust you on that. I think that's silly.
So if you are a beginner reptile person and you want your very first snake, this snake that we're about to bring out is the perfect snake for you. It can stay in a 5-gallon aquarium.
And if you call right now,
just follow the link below straight to the corn snake store.
that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand about us too, is we're not breeders.
We're not. We don't.
We don't breed snakes. We're not like these other large animal factories.
Yeah. Well,
And channels out there that do breeding and sell snakes and stuff like that. We just have a very eclectic, strange family.
a menage a trois of snakes.
Love that
So-
word.
So I got a call a couple months ago from somebody that had this guy available. Needed to be rescued. Very underweight, very underfed, but he's getting better.
Oh, he does. He looks a little thicker.
He does.
looks a lot
he's,
thicker.
He's grown a lot, and he's starting to become a little bit more social.
Yeah.
little wibbly.
Very
So,
wiggly.
so this is Phoenix, and he is a corn snake, but his pattern is called
A
Aztec.
little lower, like this, open hand.
His pattern is called
And
Aztec.
push it out. There you go. Keep going. A little bit further.
Yeah. And so I think he's grown like twice the size he was when we first got him. But anyway, he's got those great corn snake patterns and colors to him. This is not anything what a wild corn snake looks like. This is totally designer corn snake. The pattern's been broke out. They've taken a striped pattern, they've taken a mosaic pattern, they've bred that back together, and they got these nice terracotta colors with some, some sand and some black in there. But this is a really good looking snake. Now this snake is eating pinky mice right now. So in order to keep this, you would have to order some frozen pinky mice. But super, super easy to keep. One thing about corn snakes is they don't require additional UV lighting or UVB lighting. These snakes are fairly nocturnal in the wild, and they spend a lot of time hiding, and so they're rarely ever out in the sun. Maybe a cool morning and they want to warm up, they might come out into the sun, but they don't need additional lighting. They do need a tank that has a temperature gradient in it. So one side of your tank might be 87 degrees, the other side of your tank might be 75, and they can find where they want to be in between. But a great beginner snake, because they're really easy to take care of. They're voracious eaters. They don't have very many problems. Like they don't have problems with very many diseases, and they're very hardy. So yeah, this is a great snake, and this one is called Phoenix. So eventually he'll be about 3 to 4 feet long, but maybe this big around. So that's a good size to keep. You can keep them in a smaller enclosure, like a 10 to 15 gallon aquarium.
Can I hold him, Michael?
You may hold them.
Wow. Someone asked, hey, what do you guys breed? And I said, we don't. I said, we're a nuisance wildlife control company.
We are a nuisance wildlife control company. What I mean by that, we rescue people from wild animals inside their homes.
I said, we rescue people from wild animals on a daily basis because that's usually his pitch line.
That is my pitch line. We rescue people from wild animals on a daily basis.
Then I additionally added that you're just a weirdo and you love animals. And we have a bunch of rescue animals here at our headquarters.
Yeah.
So I'd say what percentage of animals do you think are rescued here?
It's a high percentage. I would
Yeah.
say 85, pushing 90%.
Every once in a while, he just sees a snake and he likes them as pets, which a lot of people do in life. Some people don't.
If there's a good deal on it.
And he'll be like, yeah, I want that too. So,
I was just noticing that your other platform live was really bouncing just now.
that's because the dogs have been hitting the tripod every once in a while.
Gravy
So they get a little bit of ambiance. Like maybe we're on an ocean cruise.
It's all part of the live experience,
Yeah.
Do you want to see the
Absolutely.
prepackaged, like beautiful stuff? You watch the long form. That's what
Perfect.
I spend all my hours on.
Yep. Phoenix looks like he's having a good time.
Let's
on your
pick
arm.
another one, Jenna. Why don't you go to the Goblet of Fire?
Yes.
You want to pick this one up?
Yeah.
You wanna-
sure.
What's your name
of the goblet?
You can dig him back.
Survey says Ben. Go
Oh, Ben,
Yay.
the loudest audible
Hiss.
vocal hiss
Any snake.
of any snake that we have, and certainly any snake in the wild. So Ben is a gopher snake. You can go ahead and go get him. Ben is a gopher snake, but there's a little bit of story behind it. Before he comes out, I'll tell you the story. So this particular snake, way back in the day, 1940s. Let's just start there. If you were in Louisiana and you came across this species of snake, you would call it a pine snake. And usually anywhere where there's loblolly pines, short pine, white pines, these snakes inhabit that type of area. And they were called pine snakes. Then if you were to head west and go to Oklahoma, you would come across a snake and you would call it a gopher snake because they're in the prairies. They eat pocket gophers, northern pocket gophers. By the way, our winner last time, she got northern pocket gopher was the question to win the box, and she got that right.
It was. That was a tricky one.
It really was, because I needed all 3 words: northern pocket gopher. You would call this snake a gopher snake. And then if you went further west to Albuquerque, in that area, you would call this snake a bull snake. However, in the late 80s, it was reclassified, and they found out it's all the same DNA. They're all 3 the same exact snake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, DNA.
Right. So anyway, we have Ben, who is a gopher snake, and in my eyes, he looks like what I would call a gopher snake. He's got the right head, he's got the right colors, he's definitely got the right size. But this snake makes a pretty good pet. He is about 2 years old, and he is really getting big.
He's a
So-
lot bigger than I remember.
Yeah. So when we got him, he was no bigger than Phoenix, the snake we just had out.
The snake was not this big a year and a half ago.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a gopher snake, a bull snake, a pine snake. In my experience, the pine snakes are a lot darker, much darker, like pine bark dark. This is about what I see whenever we go out in Oklahoma, except for sometimes they're a lot redder than this in Oklahoma. And then when we go out to Albuquerque, this is definitely classic bull snake look. And this is probably, I mean, I guess he's about 5.5 feet long. He'll definitely push out to about 7 feet, probably. I don't know. He's got some really good genetics in him, so he might even get longer than that. In the wild, I've seen bull snakes get up to 8 feet long. But one of the amazing things is that they have a vocalization, and they can sound just like a rattlesnake, but it all comes out of their vocalizing right here.
It's scary.
It really is, because and if you get a really big gopher snake like from Oklahoma, they can really make that sound, and it sounds like a rattlesnake. And so consequently, people chop their heads off a lot thinking they're rattlesnakes.
There's a lot of snakes that look like rattlesnakes, and that's also why we do what we do. Is we like to educate people on what the actual facts are about each individual snake, because if there's one thing Michael doesn't like, it's just the nonsense killing of anything. So, to be able to show people this gopher snake and then learn that it's not going to hurt them, it actually takes away a lot of other wildlife that you don't want around your property, your home, like
Gophers,
keep
northern
them around.
pocket gophers, And in Louisiana, they eat a lot of rodents. They eat a lot of meadow voles. In Oklahoma, they eat tons of pocket gophers. And then out in the desert Southwest, Arizona, New Mexico, Albuquerque, they eat all types of desert rodents, kangaroo rats, pack rats, all sorts of things. So they eat a ton of rodents, Now he is carrying a gene that is albinism. And so if we were to find him a girlfriend that had the same gene, we could produce this in white.
That would be really cool looking.
Yeah.
I don't know how many gopher snakes we really run across.
Not many.
No.
Although I follow a TikTok, and that's what they do exclusively is gopher snakes. They got some really, really pretty ones. I just saw an egg cutting video for the gopher snakes. They were pulling all kinds of
He's
interesting
just
ones.
looking right at me right now.
Yeah, he's just like hissing at you. Speaking of egg cutting, don't we have a thing with genetic genesis coming out?
Yeah, I went back. If you guys haven't seen our first video we did with genetic genesis, he's hissing. Yeah, that was him hissing. If he hisses again, put him up by the microphone. Maybe he won't like the microphone. I just put him up there, see if he don't like it.
How about this one? He usually doesn't hiss on command.
No, he doesn't. Like if you see something of him hissing on our YouTube channel, it's because we were checking on him, we were feeding him, and he's in that
Just woke him up.
that hissy mood,
Yeah.
But he definitely hissed there. But
Thank
genetic
you for
genesis,
bringing,
they're
Ben out. We appreciate
they're
it.
a bald python breeder, and since we don't breed, we thought we'd get connected because we like going to like the Show Me Reptile events. Just seeing local trade shows and what's going on in the pet world with reptiles, and hooked up with Genetic Genesis through one of those events.
Yep.
And they've got a phenomenal facility.
A top-notch facility.
Scott and
Plus, they're
Jordan,
smart.
If you're looking for a snake right now, a ball python.
Ball
is-
pythons are good beginner snakes.
Like they're really growing on me. We got Mac now. We rescued Artemis. Mary's she's ruining everything
Oh,
tonight.
man,
Unbelievable.
she's just something else.
Who invited her?
I did.
You?
Yes.
Oh my god. But
I said we'd love to have you.
I'm working on a new Genetic Genesis video where we stop by, we go further on the breeding process, we get to cut open some eggs, which
Yeah.
is a really cool, creepy procedure.
I love it. It's like you get to see inside the egg before it actually hatches.
Yeah, nothing like some egg snake placenta, you know? It's just
I guess it's
just-
something like that.
just good YouTube content right there.
I got you. Well, I think we need to open it up for questions so that people can start throwing out some questions that
Yeah.
they might be interested in.
So we usually like to stop
Gracie?
every 15 minutes
But we didn't do
and answer questions. If you have questions on your mind, leave them in the chat here. We'll get caught up with it.
Yeah, we got 2 people monitoring the chat, and so just throw some questions out. Wait, Gracie has a question.
Lucille wants to know, where do rattlesnakes mostly live?
Rattlesnakes live almost everywhere in the lower 50 states,
Even
So-
Michigan.
even Michigan, even South Dakota. They have rattlesnakes. What are you doing?
I'm just looking ahead, okay? Just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
Why are you so worried about me over here?
Hey, I was just wondering what's going on.
I got one more question.
But I want to finish answering this. The state that has the most species of rattlesnakes is Arizona. They also have the most quantity of stinging, biting, venomous creatures. Arizona. So if you want to go somewhere where there's a lot of things that will hurt you, sting you, bite you, and envenomate you,
Find the closest desert to you.
go to Arizona because they're great. Yes. Next question.
Okay, somebody wants to know any way to keep snakes away from my lake house, especially cottonmouths.
Well, so we do this for a living. And one of the things is we do population control where we will actually physically catch the snakes and translocate them to an area where there is not your lake house. Here's the problem with cottonmouths in particular, and this also goes for garter snakes. So there's a lot of commercially available deterrents, all right? However, one of the ingredients in the deterrents is sulfur. And that doesn't affect cottonmouths or garter snakes. And so unfortunate for that. But you can put up snake fences. However, you have to check them every day and you have to be willing to free the snakes that you get in your snake fence.
Yeah.
You can put up snake traps, but you have to check them every day and be willing to free them whenever they get caught.
So I hate to interrupt,
No, go
but
ahead.
I'm with Michael like 90% of the time, and we go out to a lot of accounts, but that snake material is very similar to what people put up just in their standard garden space, isn't it?
Mhm.
Wait, is it the same netting even?
So it's a 3/4 inch bird netting,
yeah, so
but it's the plastic stuff,
yeah, but
thin.
we've sadly been out to many accounts where the homeowner doesn't even know that there's a snake issue going on, and we've tragically found a lot of snakes just dead for no reason. Because if you're gonna put something up to protect your gardens, you don't want to see snakes dying,
Check it daily.
you have to check it daily.
Yeah, before noon. Because
Yeah, 'cause the
once
sun.
direct sun hits a snake, they can't survive for a long time.
Mhm.
You know? So
Hate to bring down the mood, but I just wanted to put a little PSA out there
yeah,
to
so what we're
people.
talking about is you can go to Walmart, you can go to Lowe's, you can go to Home Depot, and you can buy this plastic bird netting to protect your fruit trees from birds. Okay.
Mhm.
This is also the same material that's used in snake fences. And what will happen is the snake can crawl through it about a third of the way, and then it catches on their scales and they can't back out. Okay. And if nobody notices, then as soon as the sun comes up, it kills the snake. The sun kills the snake. And so it's very, very unfortunate that happens. But if you're using that to keep birds or rabbits or things out of your garden, you need to check it every day because you're going to catch a snake in it. That's going to happen. Let's do one more animal. Come on, let's just do one
Well,
more animal.
okay. Don't twist my arm, bare hands, Beran.
All right, last animal for the night.
Well, listen, I already picked
Not the last. I'm not picking anything. I was just turning around so they could see the world's greatest dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, pick it. There you go. This is gonna be the last animal for tonight's live.
All right, Jenna, you ready?
Let's do it.
I got Miss Minion.
Miss
All
Minion.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
This just got interesting.
so Miss Minion is our second largest snake
Hey,
that we have.
Gracie, can you make sure Jenna doesn't need help?
Yeah.
Mary's
So-
not a big snake person, so I didn't want to send Mary
So-
over there.
So Miss Minion is a Burmese python, and if you recognize that name, Burmese python, it's way down in the most southern tip of the state of Florida, and we're talking about the landmass down around Homestead, south of Miami, the real Everglades. They do have a little bit of issue with wild Burmese pythons propagating and thriving actually
In Florida?
in Florida.
Yeah, they do.
But let me tell you this: Florida is a really big state, and I hate it. It irritates the heck out of me when somebody goes, "Florida's overrun with Burmese pythons." I'm like, no, it's not. It's so far south that most people have never even been that far south. It's just this little strip along the most southern part of Florida, and they have Burmese pythons. Okay, so
this is going great.
so disclosure, this is an albino Burmese python. She's a very nice lemon yellow color. We have
Gravy?
not
Yeah.
weighed her or measured her in a long time, but I suppose she's about 14 feet long. You know, she probably weighs about 70 pounds, maybe.
I go with
65?
No, I go with 40,
No, she's more.
50 max.
Jennifer said Britney Spears vibes.
Well,
Oops, I
so-
did it again.
So yeah, Brittany did have a Burmese python on her, but it was a much smaller one than this. Yeah, so it was the one she had on her back then was only about 8 feet long.
She's not nearly as heavy as Peaches was.
Yeah,
Now, is that traditional spotting? Is that a traditional pattern?
talking about this right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the pattern. So normally this snake would be olive green, dark green, and a dark green brown, and it would blend into the ground very well. So she is an albino, so all the black is actually white, and all of the green is actually yellow. And so a lot of the color has been bred out of her because she's a designer snake. But this is Miss Minion. She may go to Shutterfest this year. It depends. She's got a little bit of a cold. She's got a little stuffy nose right now, so it depends on how well she gets over that, if she at all gets over it. But she definitely is a good looking snake. She's a very fun snake because she's easy to get along with. She doesn't squeeze real hard, not like Peaches did.
No.
You know, but in the wild, she can take down fairly large prey if she can catch it. But whenever they do the Burmese python roundups, the last one that I saw the data on, 90% of the content, stomach content of those Burmese pythons were old world brown rats out of the swamp. So that means an invasive species is actually removing an invasive species from the swamp. So, take it as you will.
Someone asked, how can you tell when a snake has a snuffy nose?
Well, so they wheeze,
Yeah.
like you can hear them wheezing.
Mhm.
They definitely have a discharge through their nostrils. Like right now, both of her nostrils are plugged up.
Yeah, no,
Like she's got a snotty nose.
she's been at the vet several times recently,
Yeah.
and we put
We've
her
got
on
her
some
on-
antibiotics too.
Yep.
And she is looking so much better.
Yeah,
than
her
when,
scales look
she's doing
phenomenal.
really good.
Yeah, she's looking really good.
She's
Like-
nice and warm.
She
soft.
does have my favorite pattern of any snake that we have.
Yeah, she's a bright yellow,
I was excited to pull Miss
Ooh.
Minion because
lemon yellow.
usually she doesn't get Jenna playtime. So
Burmese pythons are a pretty good pet. I wouldn't say they're a good beginner pet because they do get large, but they are fairly easy to take care of, and their husbandry requirements are fairly minimal. And they'll eat just about anything you put in their cage.
they get big.
They do get big. Like this is about standard size. You know, I've seen them much bigger than this, but like on average, this is about size. You know, probably about 12
Can
or
you
14
take her
feet.
tail and we can try and straighten her a little bit?
Gravy's in the middle. like, what are you
Yeah, I
guys
would say
doing?
she's at least 12 feet, 13, 14 maybe.
That's at least 2 full coals, which I'm 6
Yeah.
foot, so
All
that's
right,
at least
here, you
12
can go
feet.
put her up. She's wheezing. Put her up.
Come on, pretty girl.
Got it.
Yeah.
Big animal, big poop. Bare hands, Brain. Could you talk about snake poop for me?
Yeah. Snake poop is nasty. It is horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very, very well digested food. Like when snake poop comes out, it's mostly calcium and hard whatever's left over after it's been extruded.
Yeah, fun pet fact: if you have a snake, do not put its poop in your toilet,
No, it will definitely clog your toilet up. That stuff is solid.
which has
Like-
definitely happened here before. We had an animal caretaker once upon a time. Toilet got clogged. We were like, "What happened to the toilet?" And they're like, "Oh, and
and
then
it felt like there were rocks in it.
put some snake poop in it. It's like hard.
It is very hard.
It's like putting rocks down your drain."
It is very, very hard. You know, because a snake will run a prey item through its intestinal system and it be in there for a month. And they literally extrude every ounce of nutrition out of whatever that is. And the only thing you have left over is some very solid material.
So there's been a couple questions that have poured in, so maybe we should catch up here.
Let's ask a question.
Let's see. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. I got the hiccups now. Oh,
Oh.
what are we feeding Miss Minion?
So Miss Minion is on rabbits. She's on medium-sized frozen rabbits that we thaw out.
And then do ball pythons eat once a week?
Ball pythons can eat once a week. Certainly, the larger they get, the bigger the prey item you give them, the less frequently you would have to feed them. But as youngsters, they do need to eat at least weekly.
Yeah, and what we learned from genetic genesis is the sooner you can get them started on
Rats, the better.
the better. And by rats, there's different sizes.
Mhm.
And so you go from pinkies to full adults. So, but it has more nutrition in them for ball pythons and snakes if you get them on rats sooner enough of mice.
Yeah, genetic genesis stance is that rats are more nutritious than mice. And the sooner you can get them on the rats, the better your animal will be.
And then Joe Budd writes, someone told me snakes drink water by sitting in their water.
Well, snakes do sit in their water. A lot of snakes like water, but snakes gulp water. Like we see our snakes coming over the edge of the water dish and gulping like this. However, when we put them in a clean water spa bath, you can see that they're in the water and drinking at the same time. But it's not a requirement. It's not something they do. It's just something that they may do is drink the water while they're sitting in it. And if they poop in it, though, they will not drink the water, which they do poop in their water quite often. I just want to mention real quick, hear this. Send your contact information if you haven't already so that I can
via
get that box sent out to you.
info@cancatchit.com.
info@cancatchit.com. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to thank you for those folks that did the super chats and sent in donations for our raptor rescue efforts.
Yeah,
I mean, that's huge,
super huge.
you know?
And I
Really
I almost
appreciate
get a
that.
little teary-eyed when a super chat comes in.
Yeah, I know, because it's like,
I'm like,
we just
wow, they
never
really
seen that.
care.
you know?
They really care about this.
What are the different levels of the super chats? I really haven't looked at. Is it like from $1 to 500 or?
So all I know is you can like go from $1 to like $500, which is insane.
So let me ask you,
Really nice.
if
Insanely
if
nice.
we really wanted to buy a piece of equipment of some sort or another, and we did a YouTube live, would it be uncouth to do a prize package based off of super chats?
You kind of got me like we could do something where like we could put together a huge package.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to enter like the package drawing, there could be like I'm making something up like $5 super chat to get entered into the huge drawing thing we have.
That's one way.
I'd raise
like
money
that's
for
cool.
like, over a number of live chats, not just one, but do like 6 forth, and then everybody goes
like
into
a
that,
raffle.
into that pot and make a raffle out
This
of
is
it.
like a raffle.
Yeah.
I kind of like.
I
the
was
raffle
thinking,
idea.
I was thinking like a silent auction kind of thing.
It's like a
Could you
silent.
do it that
I
way?
kind of like almost the raffle though,
Yeah.
but you know,
The raffle?
Because
I think that's
you
great.
know, maybe somebody wants to donate $20, but they don't get paid till next week.
I'm so
Yeah.
new to the whole super chat that I'm just like, there's so much gratitude in me for those of you guys that have been sending those in. I don't know what to do with it. Like, I
Michael-
don't know what to do with it.
Michael's still on Windows 98 over here.
I've
I
never,
love AOL.
I've never used a super chat. Like I've never done it, so I just didn't know. And we just turned it on 2 lives ago.
Yeah, you know, we're getting up to speed, so.
Yeah, getting up to speed.
Yeah.
But
So,
it really goes a long way, and we've ran into a lot of vet expenses recently, and there's always those expenses that you just don't see when you're caring for how many animals?
50 something now, 57, I think.
63 in the snake room. All together, we have 103.
So when you have
That's
100
counting all the
animals,
Plus
chickens.
No, that's not including chickens.
Oh my gosh.
well, you know, the chickens then too. So, but it's a lot, you know, there's a lot.
Hey, but
of
the
expenses.
chickens are laying eggs like crazy, and we do not buy our feed from Tractor Supply.
I pulled out like 24 eggs yesterday.
I know, right?
It was crazy.
I know it's a good thing I'm keto because I'm eating the heck out of eggs. Like I'm eating a dozen eggs a day. You know. By the way, I got picked to be a model at this year's 2023 Shutterfest.
Yeah, not just the snake, but Michael too. So Jenna's going to be there as well.
Jenna got picked too. So we're gonna be models, but we're gonna have the animals there, especially for the city museum shoot, which is really fantastic. St. Louis has a city museum. You should look it up online, but it's got all these different areas that you can go to. It's really designed for kids and adult kids to play. But during the Shutterfest, we kind of shut it down, or we come in after hours, and we do photography everywhere, and it really turns some really good looking pictures.
And I really like the bus that they have on the roof of the building. How many stories?
There's also
high
a
is
fighter
this?
jet on the roof of the building.
Yeah, how many
And a
stories
bus.
high is this?
Huh?
Like, yeah, like 5-6 stories, and they've got a bus overhanging, so you can like walk out over on top of the building and like look down at the street. So much cool stuff to do.
Cool. Well, let's take a couple more questions. Then I think we're ready to wrap this up.
Bill, last
for-
call for questions.
Last call for questions.
You want
know?
to pick his brain?
Yeah, if you want
It's a
to.
scary place to be.
That really is a scary place to be. But anyway, I do really, really appreciate everyone that showed up tonight. Thank you for putting up with and jumping back into part 2. You know, I really do appreciate that. You know, sometimes you're always going to have technical difficulties. Appreciate y'all giving Gravy some love.
They asked to see gravy again.
Gravy, giving Gravy some love. You know,
Just put them up here. It'll be fine.
it'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong?
Let's have part 3.
Oh, he's
Oh,
waiting.
you could just throw it all over the table. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Well, we could get
your jaw. You
we
clean
could-
it up.
we could get your
Your
dog urine all over the table. But anyway, I've had fun tonight. I appreciate everybody that's come in. I appreciate Jeremy showing up, running the camera. Appreciate Gracie. She's on the chat as Beran's Beran tonight.
Special thanks to
appreciate-
Mary for bringing down the first part of the live stream.
Appreciate Mary coming in and taking the video out for us so we could start part 2. Yeah.
We do
Appreciate-
have,
Appreciate Jenna coming in.
one last
After I appreciate everybody, but we mostly appreciate Cole.
Oh,
Cole
wow.
for coming in and doing an amazing job, keeping up with the chat, getting this camera set up nice,
A lot of fun with it.
running the other platform live.
Yeah,
you
hey,
know,
TikTok.
So it's been pretty good. So that's amazing. So one last question.
When did you realize this was what you wanted to do as a career?
So I was 34 years old, and the company I was working for went bankrupt. And I went home. I was the vice president of a construction company. They went bankrupt, and I went home and I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to be a trapper. And I'm pretty sure she threw a shoe at me. But that's when I was 34 years old, and that's when I decided that I was going to do something for myself of my own. And amazingly, though, now it's not about me anymore at all. And certainly I'm not on my own. I've got an amazing staff that surrounds me. I care more about making this successful for them, you know, and making a place for them than myself. So it's really grown a lot since then, you know. And it was in 2010 that I went full time doing this full time professionally as a nuisance wildlife control operator. So, all right, that was great. I appreciate you guys. Let's let you go. And on that,
Bye, everybody.
bye.
Thank you.
y'all have a great night.
Later.